Greetings, Stalkers. I want to take a minute to give my honest thoughts on Stalker 2 and what I think they did really well and could improve on over the course of the game's patch cycle and roadmap.
This guy's having a bad day.
Okay, let's start off with chatting about the story a bit. I want to preface by saying that after about 30 hours with the game, I hadn't quite finished the story despite being fairly far into it. Without too many spoilers, I was enjoying the development of the story and thought there were some great ideas that fit well into the world and its lore. The main character, Skiff, isn't a superhero or anything, and certainly his motivations are clear. I love that GSC added choice-based events, and the important characters in the game all had their own personality to make them stand out. If you're playing Stalker 2 for the story, I think you won't be disappointed, especially the further in you get when things start getting wild. The gameplay in Stalker 2 is true to the original games, and they've kept all the fun elements of previous titles, like radiation and anomalies, free roaming, exploration, gun degradation, looting, intense combat with AI that goes right for the jugular. The AI is basically aimbot on normal difficulty and rarely misses shots. You'll find yourself trying to flank and stealth at times just to avoid the constant pressure of being on the receiving end of a hail of bullets. You're frequently repairing gear and upgrading your gear to improve your stats, and special artifacts you find around the world add resistances to your character and some other improvements. There's no leveling or skill system, making for a immersive and tactical experience. While the core combat loop is pretty fun, the mutants tend to just run at you in a straight line, and often there's far too many enemies to deal with that randomly spawn in groups. Sometimes you can run 1 or 2 kilometers as well and might not even see any enemies in the world at all, and it can make it kind of feel empty. There's so much to explore in the game that at first it feels kind of overwhelming. I personally felt that because I was over encumbered most of the time, I lost my interest in looting and lost interest in exploring as a result. There's a lot of running from point A to point B, and it can be a painful experience if you're hauling just a couple extra pieces of gear to sell or stash. Ultimately, I had to curb my usual hoarding tendencies and focus only on picking up essential items. Stalker 2 is absolutely gorgeous. The world is meticulously handcrafted, and the sheer variety of set pieces and derelict buildings in the zone will have your eyes prying themselves open to capture all the beauty. I feel this is one of the areas the game truly shines in. Physics and ballistics feel great, and every new compound has an immersive atmosphere. Stalker truly shows off its use of Unreal Engine 5 with the amazing attention to detail here. The audio is fairly good overall, and you can hear everything directionally in combat. There's some really nice music and voice acting at times too. There's even some really good horror moments and some jump scares if you're into that sort of thing. GSC has done a great job overall with their initial release and quickly patched important game-breaking glitches and performance issues. Though after 3 patches, I was still encountering some problems with performance at times, and crashing on PC. There's a lengthy shader load every time you relaunch the game, and it made for some downtime, especially while streaming the game. Though it didn't ruin my experience completely, I felt a little annoyed at times, and found myself waiting for the next patch, to hopefully sort out the problems. Without a lack of standardization on PC, I'm sure everyone's experience will vary in this regard. The developers offer a season pass, and there's future story content planned, as well as major upgrades, such as a life improvement, and I think there's an eventual multiplayer edition coming. The game, also similarly to its predecessors, will likely thrive because of modders. I should add that my experience with Stalker was a fun time, and I did not complete it during my 30 days of Game Pass. I will purchase the game again someday, and come back and revisit the zone once it's seen more of a update cycle. If you're wondering whether or not to pick up the game, I say go for it, or wait and pick it up on sale, or play it on Game Pass like I did. But Stalker 2 delivered an awesome game with a lot of room still for improvement, so hopefully this helps you make a decision, or maybe you'll decide like me to revisit it later once it's had more of a patch cycle. Anyways, thanks for having a listen to my thoughts on the game, and if you enjoyed this little review, leave a like or leave a comment, and let me know if you did play Stalker 2. Let me know your thoughts down below. I want to hear what some of you guys think about the game. And yeah, cheers.